Stay with me to the very end of this story, because what happened to Moses at the Red Sea, in the wilderness, and at the edge of the Promised Land carries lessons that can transform your life today. Watch to the end and you will get all the points that make this story unforgettable. The Israelites had just escaped Egypt after years of slavery, but Pharaoh quickly changed his mind. He sent his horses, his chariots, and his army to bring them back. The people were terrified. Before them stretched the mighty Red Sea, and behind them thundered the Egyptian army. Trapped and afraid, they cried out, but Moses lifted his staff as God had commanded. Suddenly, the wind of God roared across the waters, and the sea split apart. Walls of water stood tall on both sides, and the seabed became dry ground. The people stepped forward in faith, walking between walls of water, step by step, until the last one had crossed. When Pharaoh's army rushed in after them, the waters came crashing down. Horses, chariots, and soldiers were swallowed in the flood. Not one of them survived. The people of Israel looked back and saw the power of God. That day, they knew the Lord alone was their deliverer, and they sang songs of victory on the other side of the sea. But their journey had only begun. The wilderness stretched before them, hot, dry, and uncertain. Soon, the people grew restless. They grumbled for food, for water, for comfort. Yet God was faithful. Each morning, He sent manna from heaven, bread that appeared with the dew. When they thirsted, God told Moses to strike a rock, and water flowed like a river. When enemies attacked, God gave them victory as long as Moses lifted his hands in prayer. Through it all, God spoke to Moses face to face. On Mount Sinai, wrapped in thunder and lightning, God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, laws that would guide His people and set them apart as a holy nation. Moses carried a heavy burden, leading a people who often complained, who doubted, and who disobeyed. But he kept listening to the voice of God, faithfully guiding them through the wilderness. After many years, the people finally reached the edge of the Promised Land. The land of Canaan was in sight, a land flowing with milk and honey. But one moment changed everything for Moses. At a place called Meribah, the people once again cried out for water. God told Moses to speak to the rock, to show His holiness before the people. But Moses, tired and angry, struck the rock twice with his staff. Water gushed out, the people drank, but Moses had disobeyed God's direct command. Because of this, the Lord said Moses would not lead the people into the Promised Land. From a mountaintop, Moses was allowed to look across and see the land with his own eyes, but he would not enter it himself. His servant Joshua would take the people forward, while Moses' journey came to an end. Friends, stay with this lesson. Moses' story shows us the greatness of faith, the weight of obedience, and the seriousness of listening to God's voice. He was chosen, he was mighty, but even he faced consequences for disobedience.